It's the Man Cave Club.
Today's episode, we are talking about our favorite lace-up boots.
Yeah.
And so what did you bring today? What do we have?
Man, I brought 4 pairs today. I got 2 pairs of Vibergs, I got a pair of Trumans, and a pair of Role Club boots.
Nice.
And so I'll run through them quickly. These are my Viberg service boots. Their service boot pattern, you know, it comes either a plain toe or a couple variations of cap toes. But basically, Viberg's service boot pattern has this single piece backstay. Right, that's going to be the characteristic. Looks like 6-inch boot. So that's Viberg's. It's a Viberg. It's a classic like service boot.
Beautiful
it's
boot.
Based off like a Canadian military boot. You know the World War II U.S. Boondocker. It's a similar pattern, right? These are in this leather is from Horween, and it is the tannage is the vintage.
Okay.
That is
and Horween's out of Chicago.
Horween's out of Chicago, yeah. So the actual tannage of this leather is the vintage leather, and the color is mocha, and it's 100% pure veg tan. So that's why you get this big, heavy, they call it pipey creasing, as opposed to like a finer crease.
Right.
And it's a specific look, and these took me some time to actually appreciate this type of creasing. Usually I kind of thought it was ugly at first,
Right.
but it really does have a really, to aid to its name, vintage look. This boot could walk around. I mean, if you time traveled to like,
Right.
1930, if you were wearing these, people they wouldn't be like, what are those?
Totally,
It's a real
if
vintage.
you were styling for a movie set or something, a period piece.
But the vintage, or the veg tan, it burnishes up, so you get this nice dark, black where it burnishes up. And these were a pretty light color. The original colors maybe on that tongue.
Wow,
a little bit
and
more.
is it actually? So it's 3 rows of stitching too.
3 rows of stitching,
but it's offset, which is very interesting, right?
Yep.
So the bottom 2 rows are closer together than the top row.
Yep. You got the 2 and the 1, and Viberg's got that real characteristic little rectangle right there. So if I'm ever like, what is that shoe? I was looking for that little rectangle.
The identifying mark,
And
yes.
that's it, and that's Viberg right there. So I love these boots. I
very
wear them
cool.
a ton, as you can tell. They got a lot of wear.
Yeah, but that's what they're for, right? To wear.
That's what they're for. Yeah, totally. I brought this pair of Vibergs. This is a different pattern from Viberg. This is the Viberg Scout boot, and these are on a Vibram Christie wedge sole, obviously.
Nice, yeah.
This specific one was a Huckberry, exclusive through Huckberry. It's unlined. This is their Rock Eco Veg rough out or suede, and they're really comfy. As you can feel, they're pretty light. They're real light. They're very sneaker like. And they just have a cool pattern. This the way the vamp kind of overlaps the quarter and the back heel stay.
Yes, and I love the rough out. I love that leather.
Rough out. Rough outs
cool.
are so versatile.
It goes really the best with jeans, I think. This color too, the sort
it's
of camel.
so easy to pair with denim.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Like any stage of fading that your denim is in,
Right.
like a light colored rough out or suede boot just like always works.
Awesome.
And they age so well. They take scuffs like nobody's business. You don't have to brush them. You don't have to condition them. These have a structured toe. Like that last pair has a structured toe also, and they're really comfy. I love these boots mostly because they have like a work boot feel, but they're also like super casual. So
Right.
if I'm feeling lazy and don't feel like buttoning something up, I just throw like a hoodie on with like a logo.
Yeah, totally.
Like I put these on with jeans and I don't feel weird. Like those veg tan service boots,
Right.
I feel like those are too dressed up for like wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
These are like
Totally, yeah.
These could pass as a sneaker
Makes
or
total
pass
sense.
on a job site. And
Makes
so
total sense.
I really
yeah.
love these.
And I love the sort of, it's not a white wedge sole. It's
the
a cream.
sand.
It's the cream sand colored.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
They're so easy.
You don't have to, not a lot of thinking.
You don't got to overthink
Yeah,
it.
you're
It's
like, just grab those, bam, put them on.
Totally.
Yeah. I have a pair of the Red Wing Iron Ranger mule skinners that's kind of my go-to boot too.
Yep.
And I actually had them resoled I'm not a fan of the mini lug sole and the Red Wing.
Okay, sure.
So I had them resoled, and I had the, the wedge,
The Christie wedge.
the white wedge sole put on those. Yeah.
I've always been a fan of that. That Hawthorne Mule Skinner is like, it's just
Yeah.
the perfect color. Next up, these are another like just stupid easy go-to choice for me. This is the Truman Moc Toe. This is actually on their 79 last, which is the little bit shorter toe last. They pretty much only do these on a 20 last. I got these like super special order straight through Vince, the owner. Don't ask me how. I can't tell you. You probably won't be able to get these, but these are like one of my favorite boots or one of my go-tos. I wasn't sure I'd love them as much.
Yeah. Great color too.
Yeah, so it's actually gray. It comes across.
But it looks kind of an olive too.
It's got some olive tones, but it's got a lot of brown undertones.
Yeah.
So like it's just like the perfect kind of earth tone. Goes with anything.
Goes with anything.
It's not a T-core leather. It's struck through. So that edge where it shows gray on the edge. That's how you know.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's not struck through.
That's some serious heavy.
It's pretty thick,
leather, man.
but once these get warmed up and you start wearing them, like they get pretty.
That's a serious,
they get pretty soft.
Serious boot.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So this is gray as Monda, and one of the things you gotta know with Truman is they don't always disclose which tannery they get their leather from. So this is like a mystery. We have no clue what tannery. Probably Seidel.
Wow, interesting.
Probably Seidel.
Yeah.
Maybe SB Foot. Potentially Horween, I guess. I don't know. But they don't, a lot of times, they don't, unless it's like a big name leather.
Right.
Vince is just a little secretive when it comes to his tanneries for the competition, which I think is kind of cool.
Right.
This one's on their proprietary. This is Truman. They've been dabbling this year with some proprietary soles. This is their Eugene sole. And it's really good. It's really grippy. But it's nice and slim from the side. Doesn't have.
Right.
You don't see a bunch of
It
lugs,
looks hardy, and it looks like it like if you're walking on pavement, it's gonna give you a lot of nice cushion.
Grips a little better than that day night sole like that's on those service boots, which is kind of your standard dress sole.
Right.
Love those Trumans. Thank you, Vince.
Right on.
And then my last boot here is the Role Club Boondocker.
I love that.
So these things, man, I can't say enough good things about these boots. First of all, the Boondocker this is like a reproduction of a U.S. military boot. A lot of companies do a similar boot. John Loughran's got the M43. Any number of bootmaker, they're gonna usually have an iteration of the Boondocker. It's a U.S. military boot. Usually characterized by a 4-stitch single piece back and heel stay.
Right. That's never coming apart.
Yeah, no, never. and then a 4-stitch on that quarter stitch. It's always going to be a plain toe.
Yeah. It's a beautiful shaped toe. It's a little pointier.
Yeah.
A little flatter.
Yeah, so traditionally this would have like that Super Munson last where it's like straight and then a huge curve down.
Right.
So it fits everyone's foot in the military, right?
Right, exactly.
And they'll have different widths and stuff. But these are Role Club.
Yeah.
Brian the bootmaker.
Beautiful leather, beautiful rough out leather. The color is just...
It's a really cool
it's
color.
It's a little golder.
Definitely more golden than
the
like
Viberg.
Natural. Yep, for sure. And the Hawthorne, it's a more golden than the Hawthorne Mule Skinner.
Right.
And so kind of like Truman, Brian does not disclose who makes this leather. He kind of keeps it a secret.
Where he sources it from.
Where he sources it. And it's interesting, as you see, the backside is black, actually. And then the outside is just this beautiful, beautiful rough out. It's got a good nap to it, These have a soft toe. They pick up, that's the indigo crocking. They pick up that indigo crocking like amazing.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Yeah, it's a beautiful boot.
Yeah.
Wow.
So those are Brian's
Look at that sole.
proprietary cork sole, which is also traditional on a Boondocker. To see that corded sole, it's like little bits of like tire cords.
Yeah.
Impregnated in the rubber, and it just helps it be super hard wearing.
Yeah.
So,
wow. That's
so soldiers,
really cool.
Marines didn't need this is a Navy boot. Didn't need their shoes resold as often, right?
That Brian from Role Club, he is an amazing bootmaker.
I love just this detail
He's just
too.
such a
that swoop, just that beautiful.
I was looking at the subtle details is where it's at.
The proportions of the pattern, like it represents to me the perfect boondocker
Right.
and really like the perfect lace-up boot because the comfort of the last, it's got the grip of the sole, the versatility, and just the ease and utilitarianness of the rough out leather. Like these are my go-to boots. They're probably the most worn out of all these. They show a little less on the upper because of the rough out as opposed to like the smooth leather
makes sense.
on the Trumans and the service boots. But yeah, I mean and it's that's a pretty good heel wear for a corded sole, which that's like a badge of honor if you can wear through a corded heel, right? And the crocking, man, I mean, it tells a story. It just a lot of wear. So I love these boots.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's really that's a work of art.
Yeah, Brian's incredible. Another cool thing too is I think this was either the first or second like stock run of boots that Brian's ever done, and he kind of shocked everyone because usually he has a pretty long wait list, but he released, hey, I have a run of stock boots, and he had like 30 pairs of these things in stock in your size, and you just messaged him, and you got your boots like a week later. They were pre-made, so that was pretty cool to get in.
What year was this, do you think?
These were 2022. Yeah, so
okay.
I haven't had them that
so
long.
last year, then.
Yep, 2022. Yeah, it still has the old Role Club with it's the big E is the tag. That's how you can date these boots. He changed the E on the Role Club on his little tag. So yeah, man, that's enough of my rambling. What did you bring today? What do we got to look at?
Jimmy, I'm a big Red Wing guy.
Oh yeah, big Red Wing guy.
So it's not that that's not the only brand of boots I have, but it's my favorite, and it's my everyday go-to boot. And my favorite of the Red Wing would be the Lineman. Unfortunately, they don't make this particular boot anymore, and so I'm always on the hunt to find them in my size. This is a Briar oil slick leather on this particular boot.
Beautiful.
We should probably talk about, I guess, my sizing. I'm a 9D in Brannock.
Okay.
If you Brannock device measurement. And I typically go down a half a size to 8.5 with the Linemans and the Moc Toes.
Cool.
So I just love this style boot. It has an extra eyelet, has 5 eyelets versus the Moc Toe has 4. So it gives you a little more stability here in the toe because it comes down maybe an extra inch.
Sure.
So through here. Also the nice bubble round toe gives you a lot of wiggle room for your toes. Nice comfy wedge sole.
Yeah, that's a cool boot. That's a good point, Paul.
Goodyear welt.
Yeah.
360 welt.
Oh yeah, 360 welt. Yeah, you usually see 360 a lot on a wedge sole. But that's a good point about that. We call it like a lace to toe, or there's like a monkey boot's also a form of lace to toe. The monkey boots kind of look like a bowling shoe or like a Converse, right?
Yeah.
But I like that lace to toe, those extra eyelets. I have a lower instep, so being able to cinch in that instep area.
Exactly.
Lace to toes are super comfy.
Yeah. There's a reason for that too. It's form follows function, obviously.
100%. Yeah.
It gives the foot more stability. And I think this boot was originally designed for linemen that were working up on the telephone poles.
Totally. Yeah. Absolutely. That's
Climbing telephone poles and scaffolding.
Lineman boot. I love the texture on this leather. That's hopefully we can get a close up of that. I've had one pair of like chukkas in the Briar or oil slick, and they did not have this grain on that. That's
and
beautiful,
again,
man.
it's Red Wing proprietary leather. Everybody knows they own their own tannery, so they can source leather all day long. And
was this a U.S. release or is this a Japan only release?
Actually, I bought these. I'm pretty sure I bought these on the Red Wing website.
Cool, awesome.
Maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But I think that was like maybe the final run of them.
Okay.
I bought my first pair in the Oro Legacy leather, which is like an orange leather, classic Red Wing. Yeah, classic Red Wing leather. The Oro Legacy, they've been making that leather for like 100 years. And I bought my first pair from Snake Oil Provisions down in Los Angeles. And unfortunately, I still wear them. That's one of my main pair of boots that I wear. But I bought them in a 9. It's before I understood the sizing. So I have to use a a little
An insert.
insert, inner sole insert to take up a little of the slack inside the boot. They also released them, the linemen's, in a lug sole, more of a classic work boot. And actually, these boots, would you believe it or not, they came from C.J. Cook.
Oh, cool. Those are his personal boots?
Yeah. You know, everybody knows that dude,
Yeah,
the Red Wing guy.
He went Red Wing, and then he went like hard pivot to cowboy boots.
Yeah.
And he's just like cowboy
hard
boot guy
right
now.
turn.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he lives in New York City anymore. I think he may have relocated, so maybe that may have something to do with his shift in clothing.
Boots.
Well, he's gone a little more Western, like with the leather jackets and the hats.
Yeah. I think he started, not to go on the C.J. Cook tangent, but he started kind of with those Wesco Morrisons, which tying in, these remind me a lot of the Wesco Jobmaster, especially with that contrast, like two-tone stitching.
Totally, yeah.
And yeah, these specifically, this makeup reminds me a lot of like a Wesco Jobmaster. I love the rolled top. I mean, for the price point of a Red Wing, to have that detail of the rolled tops, like that's pretty awesome, because that's usually something that all your boots here have a rolled top. I think all mine have a cut top pretty much. Yeah. And that's
it's a little extra work there.
It's a lot more extra work. It's way easier for them to not do that. So that's pretty cool.
Right.
And these are Vibram. So this is like the unit lug sole. Unit lug is when the heel is all one piece with the sole. So you can't replace that heel. If your heel wears out, you got to replace the whole unit, the whole lug.
Exactly.
So if you doesn't look like you wear these too much. Maybe you're preserving these, but
I rotate through my boots, my work boots. You know, I typically buy one pair of work boots a year.
Okay.
For work, but then because Red Wings, they really do last a long time.
Absolutely.
And, I'll prove that I actually do wear my boots. So this is the first pair of Moc Toes that I bought. These are like 12, 13 years old. And they're still going. One resole. These are the first pair of Red Wings I ever bought. And I was on a job site, and I had a pair of Carolina loggers on. And they're the most uncomfortable boots, for the work I was doing. And I went down to the local work boot store down the street and bought these. And when I got back to the job site, I took those loggers and I threw them right in the trash. And they're like slippers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never did anything to them. These are I think the 875.
875 Aura Legacy Classic Moc Toe, man. I mean, that is, when you think of a Red Wing Moc Toe, when you think of a Red Wing work boot, like that's, for me, this is the first boot that comes to mind. Secondly, I maybe think of an Iron Ranger, but those Moc Toes.
But it's amazing that after 12 or 13 years, I'm still wearing these boots. And I still have them. And
I mean, you could clean those up, condition them, resole them, and they would look so.
Yeah,
like if you were to Google like Red Wing Moc Toe work boot, like beat up, like these would pop up. Like those are perfect, Paul. Totally, yeah. I love that you've put so much work into them, and it shows, right? And
I just wanted to talk about a couple of my unique favorite Red Wings.
Yeah.
This one here is the Katanga Tan, the 8180s they released, I think in 2014. This is one of my Grail boots.
So cool.
And it was originally, they made a boot for the baseball player Ted Williams. I think it was the 888. Very unique boot. The original boot that they released, it also came with a baseball.
Oh, cool.
As a kit.
You didn't get the baseball?
No, I didn't get the baseball with this. I bought these used. I bought these on the secondary market. But just a classic, beautiful classic, but in a very unique olive green leather.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a really cool. That actually is somewhat close to this gray. I mean, and I'm seeing a peek into my future of what my Moc Toes would look like with a wedge sole now.
Yeah,
seeing
in the
seeing
same
these
range,
guys.
color range.
Yeah, that's green. I've had a few pairs of like olive waxed flesh boots, like from White's. And before I purchased those green boots, I was like, man, green boots, like really, is that gonna work? But green, or olive, I should say, olive is surprisingly versatile, and it goes with so many different colors. Like it's a
great color.
I was really surprised.
Totally.
How well those boots pair with like pretty much anything, man. So these are really sharp.
Yeah, and one of my other favorites, of course, is the Billy boot.
Oh man.
You know, the Klondike leather. Also, this boot came, many of you know, it also came with a wallet, the original run of these boots. And I actually had mine resoled. This is the they call the Rocha sole.
Because they come on a wedge, right?
Comes in a white wedge. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had them resoled. I sent them in the Red Wing, and they
did it.
Yeah, they
cool.
Went right back to the source. Just because I like this sole, it's a little higher end. The Rocha sole comes on their brick setter boot.
It's pretty cool. I only ever knew about that sole actually because of CJ Cook. But it is similar. I believe that this half sole, so like White's calls this like the Viberg mini lug half sole, and it's like impregnated to this leather midsole. I tried to peel one of these off one time, and it was not happening. My cobbler had to straight up 60 grit sandpaper, just sand it off, man, and it got all gummed up. And so this is a serious hard wearing sole. I love the little knife pocket, man. That's such a cool boot. Yeah,
that's what I wanted. I wanted a sole that was going to last a little bit longer, and eventually get these really nice and broken in, and looking really rad.
My buddy Red Wing Eddie has a pair of these that are super cool. And I made him some kilties that kind of matched with like a white stitch, and it's just such a cool boot, man.
Yeah, they're very sought after, and it's sort of a takeoff on the Huntsman, which is a similar style boot, and it's interesting that I'm sort of waiting for Red Wing to release these again. Maybe not the Billy boot with the pocket, but I mean that's the only thing that differentiates this boot from, I think, the Huntsman, the sole, and the knife pocket. So maybe someday.
That's like an 8-inch boot, would you say?
Yeah,
like 8-inch boot. Yeah, I've seen
a couple inches higher than the.
There's some cool videos of the dudes from Dr. Soul in Taiwan chopping down Huntsman boots. To like take an inch or two off of them, and they look pretty cool because it's a cool pattern. This is what they call like a canoe mock. So more of like
this is a one piece, versus
the vamp.
The standard short mock toe is a two piece.
Yeah,
actually 3 piece, right? Two piece.
Yeah, it's 3 piece. Yeah, so this is like a canoe mock, but not to be confused with the actual Red Wing canoe mocks.
Right.
That's a different boot. Right. But it's just this pattern.
We can show a picture of those.
Right.
Those are really out there.
Those are so cool, man.
Yeah. You like those?
They're cool, man.
Would you like to have a pair of those?
I would probably wear a pair of those. Yeah. I think they just have a cool look. They got that real Russell moccasin, Northeast. Yeah. Kind of
total throwback
hunting boot, and it's a cool boot, man.
Yes.
And
right on.
Yeah, so love that, man. So
I'm sure we'll be featuring and talking about lace-up boots as we go into the future and future episodes. And before I forget, guys, click the link below, and we are going to have a small little featurette where we talk about Sandman Craft Boots. They're a great boot company out of Berlin, Germany. And I have a couple pairs here, which we're going to talk about. But we're going to do that in a separate video as a small little featurette. So please join us next time in the Man Cave Club, where Jimmy and Paul will talk about it all.
It's the Man Cave Club.